Hey everyone, Dogen here, and this is the new office, the first video in the new office. It's amazing. I've been getting a lot of questions about the house, the number one question being, why are the ceilings so low in certain places? And I'd like to go to the transition space between my office, my studio, and the rest of the house in order to answer that now. So the reason that they're so low in some spaces is because when you go through an area with the low ceiling, it makes the areas without the low ceilings, with the high ceilings, feel way more spacious than they actually are. 99% of the time that I'm in here, I'm just walking from this door into my office. You know, I've got like a little desk here that I can maybe do some work at, and you know, I put some of like my Japanese books up here, but I would never be standing in this area for more than 2 or 3 minutes. And when I go through a space like this that feels a little bit intentionally cramped, then when I go into the office, which has this much higher ceiling, this ceiling feels way higher than it actually is. This is actually a design kind of cue from traditional Japanese architecture. The way that I understand it is that older Japanese houses, I think it might have been the chashitsu, the tea rooms, they would have these very, very low windows, well, very low doors, such that samurai couldn't easily get into the room while holding their swords. You have to duck through and get in. It's kind of a security measure. And as a byproduct of that, what would happen is when you were crouching down and then once you finally got through that and into the room, it made the room feel way bigger than it actually was. And so this, again, my understanding of it, kind of became a staple of Japanese architecture, traditional Japanese architecture in certain places. Makes certain places that you aren't in for a long time feel a little bit cramped, a little bit maybe cozy, to use a euphemism, such that when you get to the where you're going, the room that you are in for a long time, it feels way bigger than it actually is. Now there is one exception to this kind of low ceiling. You're only in the place with the low ceiling for a limited period of time, and that's this room. This is the guest room. The reason that the ceilings are so low in here is actually it's a building regulation. So if the ceilings are any higher, the space gets treated as a room. But if they're under a certain height, then the space gets treated as a monoki, kind of like a storage space, or just kind of like an attic is the best way to think about it. And in keeping the ceilings low in here, we were able to stay within the laws that dictate how the overall total surface area of a house in Japan. Because this is a guest room, because it's meant to be a place that people are mostly just sleeping. I imagine when I'm filming a video with Mr. Yabatan, or like Chris or any of my other YouTube buddies that come out and stay here, we're going to be filming down in the big room. We're going to be filming in my office. We're going to be filming in different areas out in the courtyard. And then this room, again, is mostly just for coming up at night and sleeping. So that's why the ceilings are the way that they are in certain areas of the house. I know it's definitely not for everyone, but when I saw the same architectural principles being applied at the model house and I heard the explanation, I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to try and do something similar here. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm going to be making a lot more videos about the house in the near future, about the cost, the materials, etc. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. All right, talk to you guys soon. Sayonara.